Go for it.
Oh yeah, 2 pre-rolls today, starting with BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JRVP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRVP. Guys, do you ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? It's time you stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/JRVP. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products which are not approved or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Let's go! 2 surprise pre-rolls out of nowhere. A very special episode where we talk about Anthony's summer abroad, his food poisoning, and of course, a beheading. All coming up in episode 251 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
Some fries, motherfucker. Out of nowhere, surprise drop for the fans.
I love it.
For the kids.
Sometimes they're like, oh, why does Greg dance when he feels like he's forcing himself to dance? I feel like dancing today. That's how excited I am for 251.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised how much you wanted to get back on the stick. You were in the middle of Asia, and you were like, we need to do a show. You even went as far as to email Aaron yourself, which I don't believe you've ever done, to schedule anything. And you were like, we need to set this up. We need to get it done.
I had Aaron's email address in my computer already, so I must have done something. But I was like, there's so much happening on this tour that I should. It's a waste not to go and recap it for the people, for myself, even for my parents, who I still have not talked to since I've been back. Yeah, just a lot happened. And again, listen, so much happened even today that I wanted to get into real fast. I went to the jaw doctor today, the guy who puts Botox in my jaw, and the guy who made my mouth guards that I wear. And while I had been on this last leg of the tour, I started to get this fear of what if I dropped and it broke my mouth guard, and I'm in this other country, or what if I lose it somewhere? I'm always like, this is the last thing I double check for before I leave a hotel room. Like, do I have that? Otherwise, my sleep is painful. And I realized that if I didn't have it, that it would be I'd have to go back to America and have this guy make me another one from scratch. But if I go and have basically get the mold thing taken now, he has it on file and he can make it for me whenever. So when I got back, I was like, I need to make this appointment and get my jaw scanned again. And I don't realize what a process this is going to be, but it should be easy. In the past, it used to be like a mold where you put your jaw into this thing, you have to hold it for a while, and it sucks. Everyone hates that. Now it's a digital thing.
I mean, it's fine. Relax.
But it still sucks. It's unpleasant to sit there with it in your mouth.
Yep.
Now it's a digital scan where he puts a wand in your mouth, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. So let me schedule that today. I have not been in a great mood for a month because I've just been tired. It's the jet lag, leaving, being on the road. I'm just always kind of a little bit of on edge. And this digital thing was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. Where he's explaining to me what's going to happen. He's like, so I'm going to put this wand in your mouth, and I've got to get the scan. And I've got to go back and forth until it scans everything. And then he starts talking about music. And they let them play their own music. And it's on shuffle, but the shuffle they haven't figured out shuffle, and so it's just the same song per customer. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's in one ear, not the other. I don't understand. And then I lean back, and he puts the wand in my mouth, and I understand what he's saying now. As he moves the wand, it's on a video screen, and whenever the wand's not scanning it, and he's got to scan it over, the music drops out. So it plays a song loud. And then every time he's got to start over again, it starts the song from scratch. Now, I had never heard this song before in my life. I am head back. Aaron, play the song. And play it as loud as it was in the room.
Okay.
All right, Aaron, let's pause it for a second. All right, so now now I think I'm in waiting room hell. Like, why is this song playing so loudly? And then it would like pause for a second, and it would get low for a second, and then come back on even louder. Aaron, keep playing the song. Now I'm losing my mind. Now, when this guy starts singing, I am stunned because I thought it was just a music thing. This is like a real song. And I start laughing. And then it starts over again from scratch. Next time he does it, that I'm in it for 20 minutes. I'm playing this over. Eventually, I'm like, you know what? I've got to Shazam this song. I need to know what this is because I'm thinking it's some like weird medley thing. And Aaron, what's the song?
It's called Up All Night by The War on Drugs.
The War on Drugs. I've heard of that band.
I
They
like
sound
the War on
cool.
Drugs.
Yes.
I recognized his voice there. I didn't realize it was
Yeah. But and so when I go to Shazam it, and the doctor gets like an offended look on his face, like, am I making fun of it? He's like, it's the War on Drugs. And now I've heard of the War on Drugs, and I would assume they were cool, but based on that, that's not cool. Not cool at all. And then another song comes on after this. I'm finally finished. And he turns that off. And I'm like, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, why? Why do you have to play loud music while you're doing the scan? He's like, oh, so you know. And I'm like, no. You could play soft music that would tell you when it's scanning or not. Why do I have to be involved? Like, he thinks it's cool just to get to listen to music. And then another song starts playing, and he laughs and he goes, I know you don't have to Shazam this. And whatever he's listening to is the worst shit I've ever heard. The worst shit I've ever heard in my life. And I start laughing in his face because I know 100% in my heart that what I'm listening to is Steely Dan. And so I Shazam it. Because I'm like, this is what people talk about Steely Dan, and I'm like, I've never listened to it, I never hear it, but this song was so fucking bad that I just started laughing, and this guy was so proud of it. He was proud of the song.
I mean, have other customers complained? Patients, I would assume.
Who the fuck knows? My Old School by Steely Dan. It was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad. So yeah, that was my jaw journey today. I could not believe it.
I feel bad
bad
that
that
War
song
on
was.
Drugs is, that probably is their song that sounds the most like Muzak. I would say in general they're great. They have a lot of good songs.
I'll never know. They're dead to me. They're dead to me. How was your week?
It's been 3 months, right? How long has it been?
I don't remember.
We talked a decent amount while you were gone. We texted. I was getting updates while you were on the road and whatnot. You've been gone this whole time. I mean, a lot's been going on.
I mean, the amount of stuff that we've missed, that I've missed. I mean, let's go. You have a new job now.
Okay, yeah. It was a stressful summer. It was a lot in general. Right around the time we stopped taping the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
My situation at work was changing, and we had some family health concerns that all ended up with really great outcomes. I mean, everyone is great and healthy, but it was a concern. So I was freaking out. It was not a strong start to the summer. It was very stressful. And then the work thing, changing around the NFL ended, and I got back on the mic and started NFL Daily back in July. So, I don't ask for the JRVP listeners. I don't ask for much. But even if you don't like football, go just subscribe. Just get those automatic downloads. Go on the YouTube or whatever for NFL Daily and support your guy.
Yeah, everyone knows I did not acknowledge Greg's former podcast, but I'm a big fan. I'm a big supporter of NFL Daily. Very into it. I had heard, and tell me this is true, I had heard that when I told you guys I was taking a break from JRVP, that the NFL podcast was like, well, what the fuck do we need this guy around for? Let's get rid of him and his cronies and end it. And then decided to bring you back when they heard that I was coming back with more JRVP. Is that what happened?
That is not what happened. It was a lot of people did speculate in my mentions. I noticed because JRVP went away at the same time as around the NFL, so they were just like something's going. It was just a coincidence. That was a coincidence, and it's good. It's been great doing something new, and we're having fun. The NFL season's about to start, and so. It was a good time, though, to have a little break from JRVP. I will say that. That would have been a tough one to keep.
I mean, I don't know how you do it. Like, again, I haven't listened to the new show yet, but I wanted to support you. I think the new show started in June. And I was like, oh, let me listen.
July.
And I'm like, yeah, July. And I'm like, I don't know why anyone wants to listen to an NFL podcast, a daily one in July. It's so far away that I think that when the season starts, that'll be jamming.
It's jamming now. Some people want to, but you're right. I did maybe rush back just because I was losing my mind a little bit, just being at home, not working, the family stuff I was talking about, and I could have spent more time trying to get everything as set up as possible, and I was just like, no, you know what, work is good. Go back to work. And just start figuring out as you go. And Emma Cup kind of pushed me to do that. She was like, you should just go back to work.
If it's a daily show, you should just go because the repetition is making it better. If it was a weekly show, maybe you wait until there's more content. But I think you did the right thing, and it'll just make the show even better once the NFL season starts.
It's been started. What do you think? The season has started. We're into preseason. We're cranking. Compared to a month ago, it feels like the season has started, and we're all set up. Sure. We're doing it. Your Steelers are falling apart, and it's not even September.
I'd rather them fall apart in the preseason.
Let's sign Russell Wilson on his third team in 3 years. That's going to be great.
We're paying him a chicken salad sandwich for his services this year. Our QB deal doesn't matter if they both sabotage the team. They could be selling plays out of the playbook, and it would still be fine. We're paying them nothing. It's better than fucking Kenny Pickett.
But you still need to have someone playing well. That's true. They're both better than Kenny Pickett. Justin Fields, I think, actually... You could have some fun with Justin Fields.
It's going to be
Russell
Fields.
Wilson at this age. It's like, what are we doing here?
I've had too many Steelers preseasons where they went 5-1. They're going to win it all this year. Who gives a shit about the preseason? Be bad in the preseason. Get good in the regular season leading into the postseason. That's my recipe for victory. That's the Jeselnik plan for success.
I'm just surprised you haven't. I still haven't really heard that much about your Asia trip. You were texting me as you were there, but I want to hear it. I mean, you're more fixated on old Johnny Mouthguard. You can't tell us about Europe, Asia, all of it.
I thought it'd be fun to play the song, and I was right.
It really was.
Okay. So, and this is, it's so much happened on this trip, and in ways that were incredibly surreal. It really felt like just unplugging for a month. We landed in Australia and learned that Donald Trump had been shot. That's how, and then it was a week later, it's Biden's dropping out. All these crazy things were happening that we were so happy. We were so happy to be away from everything and gone.
Who's we? You, Kelly Ryan, your opener.
Kelly Ryan, opener, tour managers, different people. Landed in Australia, totally fucked up from jet lag. I don't know how, I did it wrong. Whatever it was you're supposed to do getting on the flight or before the flight, get a bunch of sleep before, I was tired. Work out before, I didn't work out. Whatever it was, I landed feeling like I was out of my mind with jet lag. And then I had a day or two in Perth. Perth show, amazing. They carried me through it. They were so, all the Australian shows were incredible. And it just got better, but they carried me through it because the jet lag was so intense. Perth was incredible. It's Brisbane or Adelaide. That was awesome. And then Melbourne was insane. Melbourne was ascend into heaven type of show, leading into Sydney Opera House, my last Australian show. Sydney Opera House, I haven't been that happy in. I would compare it to Carnegie Hall. I would compare it to maybe the Chicago Theater in Chicago, Massey Hall in Canada. Just one of those amazing performances that I really felt grounded and in the moment, enjoying this. That I would do that for the rest of my life and be happy. And then New Zealand was incredible. Incredible to be there. The food was great for a couple of days, and then come on.
What do you mean?
I mean, it feels like you're eating in like a Flintstones themed restaurant. Where like everything is just like, everything's like on a giant bone. And it just has a unique taste that, listen, you want something regular after a little while. It was great. But like leaving New Zealand, and the show was incredible. Like the people there feel like they've been waiting for me for 10 years. That I really loved that. But leaving on Air New Zealand to go to Taipei and having to eat like the last bit of like lamb or like whatever the fuck New Zealand type meat I had to eat, fish you've never heard of, I was mad. Like I was ready to eat something normal. I was like, nope, one last New Zealand meal for you.
Wait, I do want to hear just a little bit about the Sydney Opera House, because when you had that show, you texted me that was like one of the most transcendent moments of your entire career.
I was
like,
flying.
What made it so great?
Because it feels like you are like playing like the greatest version of the instrument. You know, it's like a Stradivarius fucking violin, or, you know, playing basketball in Madison Square Garden. Like whatever it is, like the best of those things are, you just feel it the whole time you're in there. You feel it backstage. You feel it on stage, certainly. And the audience feels it. There's a vibe coming from them that's like almost like they're in church. And the acoustics are so insane. Like they were like, you don't want to try to film or get a picture somewhere because it's like you can hear everything. That as I'm telling my final joke, a woman in the back and this is 2,000 people, a woman in the back gets up to leave. Just normal walking down the hall. And you can hear every clap of the footstep. Like it almost sounded aggressive. Because it just, if anyone gets up to walk, if you drop something on the ground, everyone can hear it because the acoustics are so amazing. But I could not sleep afterwards. I was so happy. The tour manager was like, I have never seen you that happy. You could not stop smiling. And that it was really incredible. I would love to, whatever I have to do to get back to the Sydney Opera House, I'm gonna do. So that was awesome. And then I'm so fucking tired after Australia and New Zealand, because it's like not just the jet lag from the beginning, but then the adrenaline from doing each show. I was so wired that it put me back to square one. That after New Zealand, I was dying. And we get to Taipei, and it's another like 12-hour flight or some shit. And we land like 2 hours before a typhoon. We're like, oh, it's about to be a typhoon warning. We get to the hotel just in time. And then it was like 3 days of pouring rain. And I was so happy. Like I just sat in this Taipei hotel room, just watching the rain, just lash at the windows, got a massage, just ate, drank tea, and just like read a book in this little nook in my hotel room, and just completely relaxed for a week, completely chilled out. That I needed
you had
that.
Shows though, right?
I had one show at the end of the week. Like we had to cancel Singapore, like right before we left, because and I don't know if they were like, don't say this yet. But I'm just going to say it. No shade against Singapore. I would have loved to have come and performed for you. The government asked for a transcript. I happily provided it for them. They let me know what I would have to take out. And I cannot take things out. Like, I'm not trying to be punk rock at all. It's like, this is too short for me to call it a show. And so I said, I'm sorry, I'll have to cancel the shows. I would love to go to Singapore one day. But I don't feel like I need to go be punk rock and break the rules in Singapore. So we had extra time in Taipei and Hong Kong. But it's hard to be on the road and not have the shows. You think, oh, I have 4 days off. It's like, I don't feel 4 days off. I'd rather just be at home. So it still feels kind of weightless. It was hard to just be sitting there. And the Taipei show was phenomenal. Like it was like nothing I'd ever done before, where I would say maybe half the audience did not speak English, but knew enough to like cheer when they thought they should, or like laugh when they thought they could. Like they were angels. Everyone I met in Taipei was an angel from God. You know, people say that the Jews are the chosen people, Aaron? Mm-hmm. That's wrong.
Oh.
Taipei. The Taipei people from, it's not Taiwan. I want to say Thailand. No, Taiwan are amazing. Loved the temples, were incredible. The colors were like nothing else. I totally get why you see white guys with that like dragon, like colorful dragon tattoo up their arm. Now I get it. I would get one of those after seeing these temples. And then the show, it was just people who like couldn't really understand having a great time. That I'd never done, like I had to adjust in real time to the show. And then Hong Kong was great. Hong Kong is like a cleaner, safer New York, I thought. But again, I'm there for a week. It's either pouring rain or hot as fuck. The show was awesome. Tokyo, it was like 100 degrees. I was over it. My two complaints about the whole trip. One, I got a beard trim in Taipei that was the worst thing that's ever happened to my face. This guy didn't speak any English. I showed him pictures. I tried to explain. And then he put a towel over my face and for an hour scraped away. An hour. 3 times longer than I've ever had a beard trim go. And I thought, whatever I look like when I get up, I'm going to say thank you and leave. And that's what I did. And it was a gobsmacker. The line was insane. Where when I at the end of the Taipei show,
trim your own beard. You're a grown man.
No, I thought the barber he'll do the thing. I went and so I do the show in Taipei. I'm like, I don't know if you can understand. Whatever, I do all the shows. And I'm like, I've got a couple extra minutes. Let me take some questions. And everyone, one by one, just screamed out how dumb my beard looked. It was so funny to be like, I don't think they can understand me. Be like, your beard looks stupid. What's up with your beard? I'm like, my problem with my beard is I got a beard trim here. I went to Hong Kong, showed the guy a picture, took 10 minutes, looked perfect. I don't know what happened in Taipei, but it was bad. And then the other thing in Tokyo, I'm not sleeping at all. I'm not sleeping any. I get a couple hours here and there. Finally, I get to Tokyo. I have a night off, or a day off before the show. I wake up again like 4 a.m. I'm miserable, and finally I'm like, I do everything I can to get back to sleep. I'm sleeping on the couch of my hotel room at 9 a.m. Finally cooled off. At 10 a.m., I start to hear music, like classical music, and I'm like, is someone playing music outside? Like it's so weird, but I'm wearing earplugs. After a while, it just gets a little bit louder. I'm like, what's happening? I'm looking around. I finally, after 10 minutes of searching on my hotel room, it's coming from the fucking speaker in the ceiling. I call the front desk. I'm like, why is there music coming from the speaker in my ceiling? And they're like, what? We don't know. We'll send someone up right away. I'm losing. I finally open the door and I yell at what I find out later on is a fireman. They were testing the fire alarms in the building and didn't say anything because they didn't like speak enough English to tell me. But like, we put a little note in your room. And I'm like, that's unacceptable. Tour manager goes crazy on them. And they're like, well, we put a note. And like, we would have stayed at a different hotel if you had known you were going to fucking test the fire alarms at 10 a.m. when this guy has not slept at all. And they were like, what we can do for you is we can give you a free upgrade next time you stay with us at the Shangri-La in Tokyo. I was like, I'll never stay there. I would rather publicly say that the Shangri-La in Tokyo and the Shangri-La as a chain in general can suck my dick. Why would I want a free upgrade to the place where I got the best room in the house and you still pumped music into my room to test the fire alarms? You got to tell me before I check in.
But they sent a note. They put a note under the door.
I would have checked in at a different hotel. I stayed there so it can be an oasis, and it was not.
Do you think that holding on to this as tightly as you clearly have since it happened, because it almost sounds like it just happened last night, is good for your health?
The whole point was to say it on the podcast. And now I forgot. I had to remember it, how mad I was, just to get it out. Because I was like, no, I'd rather just publicly blast you. And then...
So the music is like classical to keep people calm, but they know they need to leave?
It's classical. I think it was like, well, instead of playing like the alarm, we'll play classical music. But it was just loud enough to drive you insane if you were trying to sleep. And that's the only reason I wanted to stay in this hotel was to try and sleep.
So it was like this?
Oh, yeah.
With that song, you got to imagine the instrument in your mouth. Head back instrument in your mouth while you're listening to that. But yeah, the Shangri-La Hotel can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. And then we went to India. Actually, in Tokyo, I saw your wife.
Yeah.
I saw your wife and a couple of her friends came with us, came out to dinner. And
that's pretty exciting. I mean, who knows? That's your first ever Tokyo show that she happened to be there. And Emmy and Co. and I don't know who else did. Renego. All got to see you. So wasn't what a treat for you?
It was cool. I like that they said they'd never seen so many white people in one room in Tokyo before. That was a high compliment, high praise.
They thought the audience was Emika, who saw the show here and there, just found it interesting how like the audience was different. Just the reactions were different, not in a bad way, but just like I think was it clapping? Was it a lot of clapping and just like it's different, not laughing in the same way or at different jokes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was like just people who don't get to see a lot of comedy shows. You know, like everyone was like respectful and cool, but just wasn't sure what to do. That I kind of had to lead them a little bit, which was fine. But I got better at it as those shows went on, and then went to India, and had a blast. And I was worried about India because it was the end of a month-long thing, but we were like, let's focus up. Let's be positive. That India was like a second wind, where I landed there and I felt kind of like a diplomat for all of comedy. In India, they had like a 15-year-old comedy scene there. And so all the comics wanted to meet me, and I was like, let's go. I'll sit and talk to whoever. And this production company, Dead Ant Production, has been trying to get comedy into India. I think they brought Daniel Sloss last year, they brought Jimmy Carr, and they brought me. And so they took care of me. And like everywhere, they took me out to go to restaurants, took me out to meet people, it took me out to do everything. And they were awesome. They were really fun. And then the show in Mumbai was insane. Off the charts. Show in Delhi was really fun, and the final show in Bengaluru was awesome. They were all really fun shows, and you could tell. I like to get the compliments from the people, because most people spoke English, but you would get the people from like in comedy. Like it was fun to watch people who got it, people who were pretending to get it, and the people who did not get it. And I was like, that's really funny. The people pretending to get it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I got, and the food in India was incredible. The best food I had on the whole tour was in India. And it was Indian food every night, but it was like amazing restaurants, so good. And then I got food poisoning the last day, where I was okay up until I was feeling kind of shitty after the last show. And then on the flight back, the last 4 hours of the flight, I was thrown up and could not hold down water, could not hold down toast. Had to like almost got carried off the plane. They were like, "Do you want medical attention when we land?"
Damn.
Yeah, it sucked.
That's a terrible way for this trip to end.
It sucked. Got home, got an IV immediately, and then like took me a week to get over the nausea and the jet lag. And now it's been just over a week.
You still look kind of sweaty.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been talking for 3 hours.
You've been working hard. There were a lot of shows. I'm amazed you can just remember all the shows in order off the top of your head, but I guess you lived it.
I wrote it down.
How does it feel? Because wait, do you have any more shows?
I've got a month in Europe.
Oh right.
Yeah,
I knew that.
It feels like it would have been easier if it had been the end, because mentally you just know you're done. But knowing I have Europe, like that will be the end, and so I'm just kind of like just trying to relax while I'm home and chill out.
Will you? If you go on another tour, do another Asia swing sometime?
Probably. I would maybe pick different places, but Tokyo, if I was back in Tokyo for something else, I wouldn't know if I'd do a whole tour, but if we'll definitely go back to Tokyo. I could see myself trying to do a show. Australia for sure. Australia definitely. They are my people. This is my third time back, and if I felt like bigger crowds every time, just more fun.
I want to see you at the Sydney Opera House.
It was incredible.
That's what I want.
That was my favorite. That and Carnegie Hall are my two favorite shows of the whole tour.
You have been on this tour. I guess it hasn't always been a tour. You were just doing shows. But I still think back to when you were doing the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
At the beginning of this process and first doing your 30, 45 minutes, that was almost 2 years ago at this point. How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Shit.
Yeah, I want to do when we come back after the European tour, and we're just doing this one episode, and then we're done again until I come back from the European tour. I want you to do a thing for me where we have like a bunch of video clips of people telling me how proud they are of me, and how hard I work, and how I did it, and how I changed the game.
Okay,
So-
well, was it going to be people you actually know, like people that you work with here, like Bill Burr? I think his office hours are over for the day. Or is it going to be like listeners? What do you want?
I want everybody. I want people I know and people I don't know. I want people from Cameo. I want someone who was on the Brady Bunch in there.
Oh boy.
And I want everyone just telling me that I did it and that nobody works harder. I don't want anyone to mention how funny I am. I just want them to tell me that I did it and that they see how hard I work.
Okay, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, never a bad time to subscribe to the Anthony Jeselnik channel. You can rewind it and keep playing because there was a lot of specifics there of what to do and what not to do, and then you can send in your.
I don't want fans doing that.
I thought you said you wanted everyone.
No, I want like real people.
Those are the real people.
Like Bill Burr, Cameo. I would take an Al Madrigal.
Like just so we get an idea of what it would be like. What would Bill Burr's sound like?
Geez, Anthony, you did it. You changed the game, pal. I'm so proud of you. You work so hard. Nobody works harder than you. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want it to be almost passive aggressive.
I ran into someone, a listener. I think it was my coworker Drake that said this. That he thought he just brought it up out of nowhere that you have a great Bill Burr impression.
One of the best. First of all, no one really does a Bill Burr impression.
No.
I don't know if you guys have noticed. No one really tries to tackle it. But if you're going to, I bet you I could call his wife and fool her. I could fool her for 5 minutes straight on the phone. Aaron, you think I couldn't?
Well, what would that
Oh,
call?
I'm not-
What would that call sound like then?
Hey, honey, just calling to see if you need anything from the market. I'm going to pick something up for you there. Pick up anything for you? Some eggs? I bet I could do it.
You did it. I mean, you did just do it.
I changed the game.
Yeah, I'm crying right now.
I changed the game.
Mm.
Anything else happened to you over the month?
I don't know.
How did you feel about Trump getting shot at?
I don't know. Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my. But I'm feeling good. I like where we're at. I think I was pretty confident Trump was going to win this election, and now I'm feeling like he probably won't win this election. But we got some time to go, so I'm feeling good about that.
What'd you think about the new Joe Rogan special? Did you watch it live or did you wait? Because you get nervous for Joe.
I have seen Joe Rogan perform comedy because he was at the Comedy Store, in front of you once when I showed up for 10 minutes.
Mhm.
That's the only 10 minutes I saw.
Yeah. I used to watch Joe Rogan do 10 minutes of stand-up every night before I performed.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the new live one?
I got nothing against him, but that 10 minutes that was good that I saw before.
Aaron, did you watch it?
No.
I'll tell you this, guys. He did it.
Change the
He
game.
changed the game. Say what you want. No one works harder than Joe. No, tell me someone who works harder. Tell me someone who deserves it more. You can't.
Who
Aaron-
did he have on recently? Did he have Aaron Rodgers on recently? I'm losing track of the podcast that Aaron Rodgers has been on.
Aaron, what did you think about the new Matt Rife crowdwork special? The new one.
Oh, you mean the new one?
Yeah.
It's, changed the game.
You say what you want about him. He did it.
He did it.
Who works harder? You look at that schedule. He deserves every bit of it. He changed the game.
The key for our videos though is don't mention that you were funny.
They never do. They never did. When they play these clips of people telling how proud they are, they never say they're funny. They always just say you work so hard and you deserve it.
Change the game.
Change the game. And now it's time for
Ad copy.
Nope.
No.
And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
No, not really. Thank you, people who were like, "Oh, the show's stopped for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do." But you've left us alone, and I appreciate that. No notes, and it leads us into email corner. We got no emails for email corner. So
We didn't ask for any. I mean, we could have gone for some old ones.
I thought
but
there
that
would be
felt weird.
people have been like getting in there for the next time. There was like 4, and they weren't even real questions. And that was, did we get any notes?
Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes?
And now it's time for a little place we'd like to take it down to called Email Corner.
Email corner. Email.
You just
Emails
said
are
there's
thing,
no emails.
thing. Emails. Email corner. Emails. It's email corner.
No emails. And that was
And that
Email Corner.
And that was. And that was. Email corner. Diamonds around the world unite. Diamonds around the world unite.
I got a lot of tweets, I got to say, of people just being like, when's our JRVP back? We missed JRVP. So there's a lot of those.
And now it's time for.
Ad copy.
Yeah. it
Now you
is.
can talk.
Guys, your sex life, it's important. One of the most important things. But your schedule is busy. You don't have time to go to the doctor's office to get treated for ED, and that's why you go to HIMS. You can get personalized ED treatment without stepping outside your door. HIMS is changing the game, providing men's health care, access to affordable sexual health treatments, all from the comfort of your couch. It's a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments. So they got the chewable hard mints. They have proven treatments like Viagra, Cialis, or they have generics for up to 95% cheaper. Save a little money. Process is simple, 100% online, no uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just answer a series of questions on the site, and if prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free. HIMS has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, so if ED is getting you down, it's time to find the option that works for you. Look, we all know someone that has gotten an ED treatment, and it changes their fucking lives. They're just happier people afterwards.
Really sinking your teeth into this one, huh?
I mean, I'm waiting for you to jump in. This is where you're like,
Everyone I know has ED.
I got to.
Everyone I know has ED. That's why
go.
we're friends.
Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatment options. HIMS.com/JRVP. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp. Look, so kids, I see it with my kids. They're always learning and growing. They're always curious. But as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. So like, what's something you want to learn there, Anthony? What do you want to learn?
Spanish.
Okay, that would be good. Bowling, maybe. Therapy. That can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come at any age. If you're thinking of starting therapy, you give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. This isn't just for people who've experienced major trauma. Again, it can be about opening up your curiosity and finding the best version of yourself. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JRVP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRVP.
And that was.
Ad copy.
Let's get the headlines.
Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines. Let's get the headlines.
It's funny, you like ask, oh yeah, what else did he do this summer? I was like, I don't know. What did I? I didn't do much. I barely left. Went to some Dodgers games. We were homebound. It was a home summer. We were retrenching.
Are you-
I was just thinking about how I can't think of anything that happened this summer. Well, you don't like that I'm talking about myself during what should be headlines?
So, I don't know. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Well, you're having a conversation that no one's asking you anything.
Well, I'm answering a question you asked like 25 minutes ago. That's how I operate in general.
All right.
So our first story is really the only story we could start with. The only story anyone has been talking about for the last 4 months. Mark Zuckerberg made a giant statue of his wife and installed it in his yard. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go see that statue, which is fucking crazy.
I don't know. Is this really a big story? Because I've been out of it. I don't know about
It's
anything.
not a big story at all, no. I just thought it was funny.
Is it been controversial, or is it just like, hey, look at this? Is it kind of like the Alex Rodriguez has himself as a minotaur in a painting? Was kind of just like a funny thing. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think that's his wife. It looks like a statue that's a tribute to all of the tech industry wives. You know?
I mean, she's right next to it. It definitely, you can see the resemblance in the picture.
Now, maybe you can, but as a non-racist person, I can't. That's two totally different people. One is a goddess. The other is a mortal woman, and I cannot tell the difference between the two. That's how not racist I am.
She's got a thick bathrobe. Looks very, very comfortable. Zuckerberg said...
Do you think Zuckerberg loves his wife more than you do?
No, I don't think his capacity of love is as big as
Then
mine.
why haven't you built a statue to your Asian wife?
What is it? What does her being Asian have anything to do with it?
I feel like if you have an Asian wife, then you've got a statue over in your backyard.
I think he's the only one that does this. He said, quote, he's bringing back the Roman tradition of making sculptures of your wife. So it's really Roman.
Listen, we should bring back all the Roman traditions. They're all wonderful, and those people did not miss. Aaron, you're married, right?
I am.
Do you have a statue of your wife in your backyard?
I do not.
You know why you don't?
Because I'm not Roman? No.
That's part of it.
Okay, yeah.
But also your wife is not...
Asian.
That's right.
Yeah, true.
Asian wife... Listen, if you're a listener right now, call in if you've got an Asian wife and a statue in your backyard. If you have no statue in your backyard but you're married, let us know what your wife is. Because I got to think...
I mean, they could be more than just, their ethnicity.
If there are two ethnicities, I'll take that.
Well, but they could also just be like a plumber.
Maybe you get half a statue, like the statues where they're missing the arms and legs. Maybe you get one of those if you're half. I gotta think, Emeka, maybe that's what all your problems are about.
What problems are
she's waiting on that statue.
What problems are that?
You've been married 10, 12 years, no statue in the backyard? I bet she thought when you moved into a new house, she'd get that statue.
We've been married 17 years.
What's the point of having an Asian wife if you're not going to get that statue in the backyard? Do you think he made it himself, Zuckerberg?
No.
No.
It looks like it's a beautiful statue, so it looks very professional. He spent a lot of money on it, I'm sure. Do you think she was consulted in the making of it, or did he just surprise her? Because that's a big risk to take. In the picture, I don't know if she really looks that happy. She's covering up what would be a smile with a cup of coffee, to stop them from...
She looks as cold as she does in the statue. That's a cold statue. It looks like she got frozen in a movie. She died in the new Ghostbusters right away. Aaron gets it.
No one's seen... Actually, that's not true. People did see the new Ghostbusters. Was it good?
I didn't see that shit.
I didn't see it either.
I just know it was like people got frozen.
It's Frozen Empire.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they called it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, listen, bottom line, if you got an Asian wife, you're going to have a statue of her in your backyard. I bet he could fuck that statue. I bet it's got the capabilities.
Maybe that's part of it. There are... Yeah, it's kind of like... What is the wavy thing she's wearing? Yeah, you could... There's some folds in there. You get in there.
Mm-hmm. She's like Statue of Liberty, Lady Justice, little black swan.
But
yeah, that could be anybody.
Some big feet.
That could be any.
Some big feet on in that statue.
That could be any of them. It could be any one of them.
A man accidentally shot and killed himself while taking his trash to a dumpster in San Antonio last week. According to police, the man was walking to the dumpster while carrying both his trash and a gun, and that's when he slipped on a muddy hill, and the gun that he was carrying fell and shot him in the chest.
A whole bunch of things I like about the story. My favorite part is that something you left out is that he, after he shot himself, he continued to go throw the garbage away. He made it to the dumpster. Like, he didn't just shoot himself and then fall down and die. He was like, oh, fuck. I just fucked up real bad. I got one last job in my life I can do. I'm not going to fuck this up. I'm going to throw away this cardboard. That's what's amazing to me is that he knew immediately, like, this is so bad. All my friends are going to make fun of me. My funeral is going to be a joke. Let me just get this cardboard to the recycling before I pass away. Let me do it. Because when you're going to make fun of this guy for carrying a gun to throw out his garbage, I say better to be caught with one than caught without one. I say what rappers say. So if you're going out to take your garbage, would you rather risk not having your gun? Would you rather shoot yourself in the chest on your way to throw out the recycling? I gotta think this guy's that happy.
Yeah, I think if you're going to accept that risk, then you need to finish your mission. It's one of the most satisfying things in life, putting that trash out and putting it in the right place.
I'll tell you what, if I am this guy, if I'm walking my garbage to the dumpster, I slip and I shoot myself in the chest. Here's the move. I am going to fire the rest of my bullets straight up into the air and scream, who shot me? Someone shot me. And then when the gun is empty, I'll scream, please avenge me.
But what if no one can hear you at all?
Someone will hear me. Maybe they'll see a video.
Yeah.
You gotta pretend like you got shot. You gotta sell it and take it to the grave. You did not shoot yourself. I always think of Plexico Burst.
It's a risky move though, because it's a dump, and maybe there's like cameras around, and so for like a few hours, everyone's telling that story. Oh yeah, I heard this guy. We got to go look for his killer. Then you watch the video, and then you're on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Maybe you're doing a fight club. Maybe I would be like, oh, I've been possessed. And then shoot myself in the face. If I accidentally shot myself taking out the garbage. For sure. 100%.
Wait, so in Fight Club, where he's like just, in theory, punching himself this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is everyone watching him punching himself and then get super into the Fight Club?
They explain it in the movie.
I mean, they don't really.
They do. They show the guys come over. And I had a friend,
It's a little
Wayne
wild.
Fetterman was like, hated that movie so much because that part ruined it for him.
Yeah.
If they would see Edward Norton beating himself up and be like, hey.
That's what I mean.
Hey, we got to get, but that is in the movie where they're like, hey, I'd like to get, I'm next, huh? Like, no one would ever say that.
Yeah. It's a shame because it's a great movie.
We should do movie reviews. Give us a movie that came out 25 years ago and we will break it down for you and tell you why some of it doesn't hold up. It'll be great.
They really brought the Pixies back. I'm gonna give Fight Club like a 5% reason why like the Pixies came back together was just the pop that they got from playing Where Is My Mind.
I'd never heard that song before that movie.
Look at you.
Yeah.
My heart sank a little, Anthony, when I saw you chose this headline. You know, some headlines I root against you choosing. It was tough. I'll just read it because it had a picture of a young boy on top of the headline. But here's the headline: Colorado dad beheaded own son, 13, after teen found photos of him in lingerie eating feces from diaper.
I mean, this is great. I mean, I was worried that this was an old story.
It was.
It is?
Yeah.
Maybe I have the same take now as I did then.
No, we never did it. It was from like 12 years ago. But he was recently, new evidence came out and they changed his sentence, so that was new.
What was the new evidence?
They somehow found
More beheaded.
That the son was kind of a prick?
no, they found the son's or the dad's old iPad, which had more information and somehow made his sentence worse. He was already in jail, but now he's in jail. He's super in jail.
I don't know how parents deal with the iPads, having all your porn on like one easily accessible tablet that your kids can find. I'll say this. This is my only take on this. If you're 13 years old, if you're a 13-year-old boy and you're digging around and you find pictures of your father wearing lingerie, eating feces out of a diaper, photographs of this, you know that you're going to die and you know how you're going to die. You know your father's going to cut off your head. Your own dad is going to behead you.
Why would you assume that?
Because if you have kids, I don't have kids, but I think if I did, and I left the photos of me wearing lingerie, eating feces out of a diaper, if I left those around, I have to kill anyone who saw them. It would probably be worse the more you were related to me on the scale. If a total stranger sees them, I'm gonna kick him, punch him, maybe jab him in the eye. Cousin, I'm gonna try to kill you. You know, brother, oh yeah, you've got to die. Son, cutting your head off,
taking the head off.
Mm-hmm.
If I was your son and I saw a picture like this that you can see on YouTube, I mean, I'm sorry for anyone that wants to check it out, but if I had to look at this, then you do too. So
it's not that bad.
That one's not that bad, but I mean, it's the shit on the face that's the bad part.
Yeah.
Once you find out it's shit on the face.
That's the worst part for sure.
Otherwise,
it looks like a Gallagher album cover. Like, it doesn't look that bad, but that guy's going to end your life for looking at these photos. It's like The Ring. You know, when someone watches the movie and the only way you can get like to not come out of your TV and kill you is to make someone else watch the movie. It's like that. If you saw that photo, you better pass it on. Or you're getting your head cut off.
It was a tough story. The son did not want to visit his father, who was estranged over the Thanksgiving holidays, but he had no choice because a court ordered the visit, and his mother, who also didn't want him to visit because his dad had all sorts of problems. Shocker. They said the mom faced prosecution if she didn't comply with the order. So the son went. He found these photos. It's a sad story. I think he told his brother about it, and his brother was like, "You gotta confront him, man. You can't just let him. You know, you're old enough that you gotta like stand up and say that's wrong, and it's the wrong choice."
Yeah, that's definitely the wrong choice. Shame on you. You know that now. Again, if you find pictures of your father eating feces out of a diaper, wearing lingerie, don't confront him. You will be killed. Is the dad in trouble? Is the dad going to jail?
He's been in jail.
Or, like, we understand.
No, no one understands. He was in jail for a slightly lesser version of like child abuse, and then, like I said, they found this new evidence. I'm not sure exactly what it was, and now he's sentenced to 48 years for murder. So I don't think he's going back.
I tell you, the villain here, the villain in the story is the brother who told him to confront him.
I mean, he's got to live with that. That's a tough situation.
I mean, he's got to live with a lot of things. A lot of things. He's got to find a new dad.
You know what? Maybe make him feel better.
Eating a shit full of diaper. Taking some pictures. That would be the toughest thing you could do, I think, in 2024, is just do a photo shoot of yourself eating shit out of a diaper, wearing lingerie, and then just leave the pictures around and wait until someone says something and then just kill them.
Behead them.
That's how hard you are, is you just leave those pictures around and someone's like, hey, is that you? You kill them.
Yeah, I officially hope my mom does not notice that JRVP came back this week. Share that last story. A UK tourist who was in Cambodia woke up to a pleasant surprise recently: a monkey playing with his junk. That's the story. Monkey came in the window, started fondling the man. He woke up and there's a monkey fondling his penis.
What made me laugh about this story is that why is it a story? It sounds like the guy just made way too big a deal out of it. If the guy like came out of his room and was like, "You're not gonna believe what happened to me," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, monkey jerking around my junk," and I'm like, seriously, it was touching me, and he just like kept on going with it until finally like, "We'll put it in the newspaper."
I think there's a video.
Stop
I
fucking
think there is
talking
a
about
video and a picture. I decided not to send it to Aaron to put it up because it blurred out the guy's face and it was kind of it wasn't a great picture, but yeah, there was a monkey and a guy on a bed. Weird.
So the guy wakes up to a monkey playing with his junk, and he pulls out his phone and takes a picture.
No, I don't know if the hotel was from like a hotel camera or something like that. That's a good question, Anthony. I haven't done all the research, but there is a picture. Maybe someone else was in the room.
You keep saying there's a picture, like we're going to show the picture, but there's no picture to show. You just like to tell me that there is one?
Well, I just wanted to prove to you that it happened. You seem to be questioning it.
Because I can guess what it looked like.
I mean, it doesn't look like anything. That's why I didn't bother. It's just like a fuzzy black thing on top of some dude.
Almost like it was not worth bringing up at all.
You said the fucking story.
Every picture.
It's your fault.
Every picture I look at just looks like my dad eating feces out of a diaper. I don't know what's going on. I mean, what reason is there to go to Cambodia if you're not going to get a little monkey action?
Hey.
That's what I feel bad for girls in Cambodia. They don't get what we get. Oh, we got two more?
That's
this
right.
is the longest episode.
It's really not. It's about the same as normal. Gosder chairless, but you did carry that. We skipped the emails. You went big on the week. The week was the 3 months, so it was a while. 2 months? How long has it been? Gosder chairless. Do you recognize the name? Former offensive lineman in the NFL. I think he was on the Lions. Was at BC. Is accused of urinating on another passenger on a Delta Airlines flight. He allegedly argued with this passenger over seating arrangements, and then about an hour into the flight, investigators say he walked up to this elderly woman, pulled his pants down, and emptied his entire bladder for approximately 20 seconds.
I mean, that's emptying your whole bladder in 20 seconds is pretty good. He's still an athlete. He still has control over his body. This makes me laugh just thinking about getting in a fight with a guy that size.
Yeah.
On an airplane.
An old woman about a seat assignment, too.
People are so crazy on airplanes about their seats, but the idea of getting in a fight with someone that big is terrifying. I'd be like, whatever you want, whatever seat you want, you can have that seat. Just that size on that plane. So then to have the confidence to be that big and that recognizable, to come back, and I got to assume they were blackout wasted.
I assume he was, yes.
Because not only do you go up and pee all over someone, but then when they land the plane back in Boston, you refuse to get off, as if that's going to be okay.
Right.
That to me of being like, I just peed on them, it's okay, we can go. Let's go. Let's go to Dublin.
You made an entire plane going from Boston to Dublin. Turnaround. Yeah, I think the Venn diagram of people who piss on other people on planes and drunk people, it's a circle. Everyone's in the same boat.
I just feel bad for everyone on that flight because there's only a plane in between Boston and Dublin every 20 minutes. So they were really inconvenienced there. That was I feel bad for all the priests aboard that flight.
It's like the Chinatown buses from New York to Boston.
The Funghua.
Let's go.
Give me the last headline.
Last headline.
Spicy.
This little mashup.
Remix. Yeah.
A married couple who fell in love with their maid of honor is now living with her as a throuple. Throuple? And guess what, Anthony? They're happier than ever.
I love this story. The headline I read, I want to have the actual, because I love when this has got to be in England, because it always have their headlines are always the same. We both fell in love with our maid of honor after we got married. Now we're a throuple and it feels so right. Yeah, keep telling yourselves that. You shouldn't have gotten married to each other. You made a mistake. You're both fucked up. One of you is into the maid of honor. Maid of honor is a goddamn head case for being involved in this at all. I know what kind of woman she is, the maid of honor. I guarantee she's got red hair.
Well, let's see.
For sure.
We have the picture. And, it's a lesbian couple, and they married the maid of honor that they went on a trip to Disneyland, I think 8 or 9 months after the marriage, and then it was on.
Okay, this is a different story, because I assumed it was a guy and a girl and a girl.
Why is it? What does it matter, though?
Because the lesbian throuple is a different thing.
They're all Patriots fans. Not sure about that. I think they're from the New England area, so not a British group. I think it's taken off thruples. Thruples are having a moment. It's just a little more out and about, I would say.
No.
You just know more people that are in, open, like,
A
relationships.
throuple- a
I think it's
throuple
happening more.
One person in a throuple is pathetic.
It's hot right now.
One person is pathetic. And if you're not sure
Why
who,
so
who in the
judgy? I thought
throuple
you
is
don't kink
pathetic,
shame.
listen, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying there's one person who's not into the throuple idea. Two of them are like, oh, yeah, this is great. And then one person's like, I'd rather just be me and you, but okay. If this is what I have to do, don't tell me you're happy with your throuple. Don't tell me all three people are happy with it.
It's in the fucking headline. It's the New York Post. It feels so right.
Nothing about what they're doing feels so right. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Kristen Stewart's like, that's a little much. That's how bad it is. And now it's time for
Choo-choo.
recommendation station. I got a good one, Greg, but I'll let you go first.
Okay. I think the thing that stuck with me the most is a movie that we talked about. It's more than any book. I don't know if we go book and movie here. It's been a while, but it was Perfect Days by Wim Wenders. I think that's my favorite thing that I've read or watched since. It's a movie, like I said, by Wim Wenders, but it's set in Tokyo about a guy who cleans bathroom. They do have beautiful bathrooms in Tokyo, but they picked like the nicest one, and following his life, and it's very meditative, and it's even slow. I'm not gonna hate you if you don't watch it all in one sitting. I actually watched it in 2 sittings. I was tired the first night. It would be great to be in a theater and see this movie entirely. I think that would be perfect. But it's more of a movie that puts you in a certain frame of mind, and I loved both. I loved watching it, and it's stuck with me. I've thought about it a lot since. Perfect Days. I know you saw it too, by Wim Wenders.
Yeah, Perfect Days, movie of the year so far for me. And
Really?
I've been telling
Nice.
everybody about it, and like a lot of my people on tour with me watched it on the plane, and they'd be like, I watched Perfect Days. Heidi watched Perfect Days and was like, it was so amazing.
The ending sticks with you too.
Oh yeah. And then I listened to the soundtrack. My thing was I watched the movie. The soundtrack is all like classic bangers. Downloaded that and then thought about the movie driving around in my car. It's a great.
And it's
a must watch.
It was from last year, and I want to get the lead actor's performance in it was, to me, like one of my favorite lead actor performances I've seen in anything. He just like is kind of magical.
Movie of the year. I stand by it. Although I haven't seen Predator yet or Alien yet, so we'll see. We'll see if that happens. My recommendation. I'm bummed we didn't have the podcast when I heard about this book. My friend Jack Handy has put out a new book, and this is a compilation of his essays in the New Yorker. Things he's published, all very funny, short pieces. Finally collected in one physical copy for you. It's called My Funny Cowboy Dance by Jack Handy, a collection of all his best short stories. Again, you can buy it on his website, deepthoughtsbyjackhandy.com. I went and bought this. I heard he had a new book out. I went and bought it. I immediately got an email saying my charge had been declined. He was sending it to me for free. And then I was like bummed that I wasn't able to promote it for him and talk about it. So please go to the Jack Handy website, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. Google Jack Handy. Find his website. Buy this book. He will sign it for you. He will transcribe whatever you want in there. And then he will send it to you himself. It's so charming. It's so cool. Support my friend Jack Handy. Make him not regret giving me a free copy of this book. And that was
Choo-choo.
Recommendation station. Aaron, you got anything real fast?
No, I don't.
That's what I thought. Yeah. And now it's time for Walker. Get me out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado, that's a spicy meatball.
We'll see you in November.